We are now in section 1, the key concepts of the deployment management practice. As you know, the exam has 20 questions. And from this section, there will be 5 questions. All the questions will be at Bloom's level 2, which is the understanding level. The exam syllabus here includes the purpose of the practice success factors, the key metrics, and also certain terms and concepts such as the environment, continuous integration, continuous delivery, and continuous deployment. We begin with the purpose of the practice. This practice moves new or changed hardware, software, documentation, processes, or any other component to live environments. The environments can also be development, testing, staging as well. So for example, it could be movement of several servers into a test environment to support the website build or improvements. Later on, software could be added as well and together moved into a staging or pre-production environment. And deployment can also mean the removal of components. What is deployment? It is the movement of any service component into any environment. So the scope actually includes the removal of service components as well. Other environments such as development and integration, not just live environments or production. Therefore, we also have testing and staging as well, which is the staging means the pre-production. And it includes digital as well as physical IT components and licenses and data as well. So largely varied array of service components. Deployment management offers benefits to both the service provider and the service consumer. We begin with the benefits offered to the service provider. They are able to market their services faster by being able to deliver working software and hardware to users quickly and effectively. There is reduced risk of errors and downtime related to product and service updates. Controlled and efficient deployment of service components to different environments, which is natural. Improved agility supporting faster and more efficient software development and release, and that can happen due to automation in the deployment and release as well afterwards. And effective integration of deployments into the service provider's value streams, because as you might be aware, different practices contributes to value streams. So a single value stream may involve several practices, meaning activities of several practices. So this integration of deployment occurs into the value streams. Also, the earlier benefit here was about the downtime, the reduced downtime, which means that if downtime does occur, if there is an incident, then deployment management can bring in faster deployment of the solution, followed by release, and that can lead to less downtime. And the risk of errors is reduced when manual activities are automated. Now, the benefits for the service consumer. Support of business agility. Note the word business. There is faster time to market for newer and improved business products and services, meaning the consumer might have their own business products and services to market there to their clients or to their user communities through their sales. Then they are able to offer seamless updates of business products and services, reduce risks and losses caused by product and service updates, reduce cost of products and service updates. So when we compare the benefits for the provider and the consumer, there are a few differences. Notable keywords such as downtime appears on the provider side benefits, whereas on the consumer side, we see terms such as business, loss, cost. And the term updates are seen on the consumer side, whereas the deployment word, which is the movement, is used on the provider side. In the exam, particularly note the usage of the word updates as compared to movement or deployment, because updates will require not only deployment, but maybe other changes as well. Now, the concept of an environment. It is a subset of the IT infrastructure that is used for a specific or a particular purpose. So, for example, there could be an application that is used for a specific consumer need, or it could be a set of hardware and software licenses used for a specific consumer need, such as for improving their HR performance or marketing performance and so on. Whereas, as we know, a combination of certain service components can make a release package, whereas an environment is a subset along with the purpose. So it's a collection of configuration items and along with a specific purpose for it. Then only it's noted as an environment. A service component's life cycle may vary depending on its type and the sourcing approach. So what does this mean? So for example, if a service component or a service is developed in-house, there could be more control and possibly longer life for that service or product, with minor changes being done to it over the years. So that's what we mean by this component or the service life cycle. If the same component is outsourced, then supplier is likely to keep enhancing the product or the component in order to retain their contract with the organization. Therefore, they might have regular deployments rather than once in a while deployment and release. And another example could be an accounting system might be deployed just once and remain the same over the years because the accounting rules might remain the same for several years. Whereas a web application is more likely to frequently deploy updated or additional components in the form of features, meaning those components deliver newer features. So that's what is meant here by the statement that a service component's life cycle may vary depending on the type and the sourcing approach. Now, the number and purpose of the controlled environments within the organization may also vary. There may be different environments, and each of them may have their own purpose. For example, a development environment or multiple different development environments with different purposes. And apart from staging, testing or quality, and live or production. And the organization's control over the environment can be limited, such as for the development environment, when products and components are sourced from outside the organization. And in the case of a live environment, when the products and services are delivered to service consumers outside of the organization, then that organization may not be able to control the environment so much.